Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spells and Stripe podcast. My name is Robin, the Spellbinder. This is Stripe the Squid.
That is correct. That is true. Everything I said. There's not a single lie in there. You did. You cracked the code. You're truthful. We didn't read it. We didn't read it. We're truthful and honest.
The
Yippee.
only honest podcast. The rest
Only
are
one.
liars
Everyone
and will
else
try to
lies.
deceive you.
Yeah, everyone else lies except for us. Robin, quick. What's 2 plus 2?
Uh, I, well, I mean, I know what it is, and you know what it is, so we don't even really have to say it because we both totally know what it is.
Yeah, but we want to be truthful. So quick. What's 2 plus 2?
I don't want to demean the audience because, I totally definitely know what 2 plus 2
Okay,
is.
so the bit's over. The bit's dead. You ruined it. You couldn't play along. First lesson in acting class. Always yes and not. Oh, well, I know it's you.
To be
Shut up, Robin.
fair,
That's something. So
I don't think I'm not that good at math, but I don't think the answer to 2 plus 2 is yes and. Hey, Stripe, have you ever played In Stars in Time?
okay, so I guess to set this up, one of my a small group of my friends, last year really got into this game called Stars in Time, which is a 2023, um, uh, originally originally a RPG Maker game, later became like a full fledged game, uh, and they got me to play it, which is really rare because I don't usually play games that aren't like released in the current year. Because you only have so much time to play games. Games are pretty long, so just don't want to focus on the most recent relevant ones. Um, but they got me to play Stars in Time, and I kind of fell in love with it, and I made a video about it, which kind of started with, "Hey, yo, if you haven't played this game, basically just don't watch past the first 5 minutes, because it's one of the hardest games to talk about. Hardest out of everything I've ever experienced, any type of media. This might be the hardest to talk about thing without spoiling it. It is very, very hard to walk around with. So that's kind of everyone's spoiler warning. If you have not played in Stars in Time, leave, play it, come back. Um, but my video got Robin into interested in this random game they never heard of before, and now they played it, and now we're gonna talk about it.
It's true. I just finished up the other day. So now we are one of the podcasts at last because I did technically hear about it beforehand. So now everything's ruined. Now the sanctity of the podcast.
No,
I did.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me if you've heard it before, but like again, this is not a very this is a very obscure game. I would say.
Yeah. Um,
Still, like there's still fans. Like, I'm still seeing fan art of it pretty frequently on Twitter. Um,
yeah. It was
but
definitely
but
on my
like
radar, but I didn't.
yeah,
Mm, but as soon as
no way.
Stripe made a video on it, it's like, oh, okay, this is special
Yeah.
because you
Um,
don't usually give the one single piece of entertainment treatment to stuff often.
yeah. Um, like if you're excluding like the videos where I make where it's about like the entire franchise, like I just did with Shrek. If you're excluding that, I how many have I done?
It's
It's
on
like
Owl House.
Owl House, Church of Deluxe, has been, I guess, because I talk about all the songs in that show. Same with like
Yeah,
um, Donkey Country cartoon, yeah. So not very often. Um, Usually, whenever I do things, it's just like based off one singular. Like, it's based off. It's I like doing groups of things. I like doing groups of things. Um, and I think this might be. Yeah, House Fate is probably longer than I think about it. But like for just one game that isn't super well known, I believe I got like 40 minutes out of this. So that's pretty impressive. Um, it's definitely something I really really enjoyed. It is probably my second favorite game of all time now, only behind Church of Deluxe, which is the game that made me not kill myself. So high praise, I guess. Um, it's I think we should stop talking before I start talking. We should probably set up how we're gonna do this.
All right. So this 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 podcast will contain spoilers for In Stars and Time.
Yeah, as I
But
said, it is basically impossible to talk about this game without spoiling it.
yeah, even if as we give the general overview, it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's a lot of the plot right there.
Yeah, like there's two things in particular. I'm like, is this just basic knowledge or is this like spoilers?
Yeah,
Like even when writing my videos, like, okay, where do I stop for the non spoiler segment? Because like, is this too far? Is this fine enough? Is public knowledge? Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
so I have to say like gloves are off. This is just fully spoilers now because again this is really hard to even talk about. Like outside of like the best you can say is like Act One, you can you can talk without spoilers. But like even getting into Act Two, you're getting into some spoiler territory.
yeah, it's like it's in a fantasy world, and there is a time loop, and it's like, oh,
Even then, is a time thing kind of a spoiler?
I mean, it's pretty quick on. It's like as soon as you
Yeah,
enter the castle.
yeah. Um. So yeah, as I said, in time 2023 indie RPG. It was a sequel slash like follow up slash spiritual special slash we'll get to it for a game called Push Start Press Start a prologue by the same person starring the same characters ish. Um,
I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
yeah, that will be important for later. I promote my mustache. Yeah. So basically, the plot of the game is you are a pack of five adventurers who've been adventuring for a while. It's even reflected in your stats. Everyone is level 45 when you start the game. Um, and you're in this little town, which is all nice. But then this evil king comes in. He starts freezing people in time, and you have to go stop him. Pretty simple until it's not simple at all. um, because it turns out you, the main character, Sifrin, you have the ability to come back after death. You can rewind time to before you died, and using this power, Sifrin, goes through the castle, and he fights everyone, and he bonds more with his friends. Then he beats the king, and now oops, he's back to the beginning of the game. Fricky. So yeah, that's basically the plot. Before we get into the depressing stuff, um, how do you want to start this off? I guess.
Um, so in Stars in Time, it does have like this whole like overarching plot, but I think where it really excels is the characters. Like if this game didn't have a good cast of characters, like the main plot would be nothing. But it has such a good cast of characters, and that's like I think one of the reasons why this game stuck out to the both of
Yeah.
us. I think we
Especially
should.
especially interesting because like there's only like eight particularly notable characters in this entire game. Um, the main five party, Loop, the King, and I guess you could throw in like the head housemaiden. Like there's only important characters in the game are those eight, but they're such strong characters.
I mean, don't forget those what three random kids who are
Yeah,
around the corner.
I am dissing Frog Kid. I will never diss Frog Kid. This is a Frog Kid loving podcast. If you don't like Frog Kid, unsubscribe from Robin's channel. Um,
It's true. I stand by
yeah,
that.
yeah, but obviously they're not like super important. So I think what we really want to talk about is the main five. I feel that's kind of the big thing we're both kind of holding in. Should we just rip the band-aid off, or should we talk about the plot
You
more?
that who do we talk about first?
I Let's save Sifrin for last. Um,
Okay. What about
just because
Bonnie?
he Bonnie's a good one to start with because uh, they're they're very simple. They're probably the simplest character of the main five just because they are a little child. They're two entire apples tall. Um, but also Bonnie's great. I think having this like little tag along kid with you is a pretty inspired choice, actually. You know, because they're not a fighter. Uh, they have like arc trying to fight, but they realize that they can't do that because they're two apples tall. Um, uh, they have a really fun dynamic with the other characters of wanting to do stuff but they can't. Um, and their friendship quest, because I feel like every time we talk about this character, we have to talk about the friendship quest. Uh, is again trying to learn to fight, and we find out that they're the reason indirectly that Sifrin lost an eye. Uh, and Sifrin still like feels awful about it. Bonnie's like, no, 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 don't do that. You're my friend, and they hug, and it's cute, and I love Bonnie, and she is they are cool. There's a lot of gay people in this.
Yeah, they like list. They have like a list of every character's pronouns. And it's like, oh, for me, yay,
Oh,
every,
gay people! I barf.
yeah. Uh, I think this, um, in Stars in Time almost has like that sort of has that approach to it where it's like, well, it's my story. Everyone's gonna have a little bit of something.
Yeah,
Every um,
I will say, I have 6 friends who play this. Is that right? No. Uh, yeah, I think that's yeah, including me. Including me. That's 6 people. Um, it's funny. We have covered every character. All the main 5 is someone's favorite except for Bonnie.
Bonnie does feel like they're everyone's second favorite character.
Yeah, I. They're not mine, but like they do feel like a character like everyone likes you, but no one has you as number one. We have so far 2 Isabus, 2 Odiles, and then 1 Sifrin, 1 Mirabelle. That's me.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, that being said, I do really like Bonnie's character. I like how they work in the gameplay of it all, and I don't. In Stars in Time doesn't really have the most interesting gameplay in the world. It's
I do like the battle mechanics of rock paper scissors. I think that's a fun way to include to like mix up the game while still having like a unique thing. But also, it's a very simple uh, battle style, which makes sense because as the game goes on, it becomes less about the gameplay, more about the story.
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
and having Bonnie there to like give you like random effects, attack the enemy, boost your strength and stuff like that. I think it's a really fun way to include them.
it really is. Because every time it's like, oh, Bonnie hit the enemy, and you're like, yeah, yeah, get him, mess him up, Bonnie, go. And
They don't do a lot, but it's nice to have like little random effects to help. I've heard some people complain about Bonnie screwing them over. I've never had Bonnie screw me over. Um,
me neither.
yeah,
That feels like a
maybe everyone's just a loser. Um,
They kind of reminds me of in Kingdom Hearts when everyone's complaining about Donald Duck not healing. Leo's like, dude, just heal yourself. I think maybe the issue is you, and you're blaming the AI for it, or
thematic
the not
matchup: Bonnie versus Donald Duck.
uh, Battle of the Century.
Yeah, definitely the second best Inside of the Time versus idea after Bonnie's sister versus Death.
um,
Um, so
I
Bonnie's
think Bonnie was
pretty
also.
cool.
I feel like a lot of video games are really struggle. It's weird because in a world where like every other AAA game has like, oh, here's this kid you have to take care of. I really think Bonnie is one of the best out of one of the best right where it's like you do believe they're a kid, but you also like can tell that it's like oh they're trying to be like more mature and they're often like failing at it because they're still a kid. I think that's like really interesting, and they're also really good cook, and that's like kind of how they're part of the party. And I have to sneeze.
Bless you. Yeah, bless you. kid cares in general, I've noticed, are kind of like mini adults to a lot of people. They're,
Yeah,
which I like that Bonnie is not a mini adult. They are just a little creature. They're just a goblin, just a little goblin, and I like that. I like that we have a kid here that's just a kid. Uh, it's like they're a little immature. They're a little obnoxious, but also they're sweet at the end of the day. They have very simple goals and view sets, and that's nice.
they also do have some of the funniest lines in the whole thing, like
They
especially
do.
when they're talking
I
about food.
I still like I really like the whole exchange they have with Sifrin and the other party members about uh like being so proud that Sifrin gave them beer, and then it turns out that it was just like water or something like that. Yeah. uh,
Uh, yeah, during the main castle, anytime you're interacting with a random object and body appears, it's like, oh, this is going to be good dialogue.
yeah.
Um, that being
Bonnie's
said,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I won't technically give away the whole, but there's like one of their last lines in the entire game. Uh, Bonnie's talking about what they would act like if they were in a situation that one of the other characters was in, and they're like, if I had to go through that, I think I would blow up the world. And that's I think that's been like one of the like funny lines that's been sticking out to me for a while.
And it's relatable. I would do the same. I I I I think we can do full spoilers at this point. I like, don't hold anything back. So uh, a few times Bonnie mentioned just like throwing a bomb at the king. Uh, I'm not sure if you noticed. You can actually craft a bomb and throw it at him.
I kind of started to figure that out, but I beat the game before I could beat that whole
Yeah.
storyline.
It's not like instant kill or anything. It just does a lot of damage to him. But like the king is very stoic, and it's like the one time you're like, "What are you doing?" um,
That is funny.
it is really funny because like it's a very dark, depressing game, but it has its moments that it saves it from just being like actually depressing.
Yeah, I think yeah, this game it goes to a very sad place, especially near like the second half. But
Yeah,
I think it's overall like
Act
a very like
Five is
hopeful
very
and like
very rough.
game.
Yeah, Act Five is extremely rough, which we'll get to eventually.
Yeah,
Um,
it's almost I almost like when I was playing it, I almost felt like comparing it to the Undertale like genocide route, where it's like oh, where it's like the first four acts are like the passive start, like oh we're having friends, and then Act Five is like oh my god, why'd you do that? Why are we here?
yeah. Um, I guess let's do Odile next, so we can save our two favorites and then Sifrin for the end. Um, which I thought's an Odile.
Is that how you pronounce it? I in my head I've been reading it as Odile, but I guess I don't know. Odile, okay.
I haven't. I mean, I never. I guess it could be Odile. I've always said Odile. All my friends have said Odile. And obviously the game doesn't have dialogue or
Yeah,
doesn't have voice acting as dialogue.
yeah,
So I've always assumed it's Odile, but like I guess you're not wrong. I don't know if it's ever been said officially by the creator.
yeah. Um, I'll just keep saying Odile because I'll
Yeah,
mess it up otherwise.
I know who you mean, so it's fine.
Yeah. They're I think they're the one where I was like, oh, okay, so you're the. It was like, oh, okay, this character's obviously great. This character's obviously great. Odile, okay, you're here too, and then that was sort of my opinion for a while. But then near the end, this might be my second favorite character.
I was going to ask. Random aside, if you redid your favorite character tier list, would Odile make it?
Um,
Because you did two per franchise for in the ones that qualified.
oh yeah. Um, sorry, I was thinking of the main party, but I think if I redid the list, it would still be Isabel and Sifrin.
Sifrin was on your list.
Was Cipher not on my list?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
Cipher would
was
be on my
easy though.
list now.
Yeah, it's just easy though. But spoilers for what you talk about Sifrin. Uh, I know you joked on Bonnie's everyone's second favorite. I feel like consistently everyone's second favorite is Sifrin because you're like forced to relate to him, and he is a very relatable character. But you might
Yeah,
want like one of the other quirks better. We'll get to Sifrin soon. Odile, um, Odile is very fun. Uh, I again, she is like very cold and standoffish when you start the game, but it is really fun to see her. I would say more than the other four, she's the one that, other three, not kind of different. She's the one that evolves the most and changes the most. So you can very clearly see a evolution from her being kind of this like stick in the mud, kind of loner character to being a lot more open and kind of silly, kind of goofy, um, which is very nice to see. Uh, he's also probably like the best in battle, um,
yeah. They
and
also,
yeah,
um, I think they have some of the best dynamics out of any of them. Their dynamic with Cipher, where they're because the whole game's kind of going for a sort of found family vibe, and
yeah,
Odile's definitely very like older sister type energy,
yeah.
and
Older
that
sister,
works
maybe
especially
even
well
like
with
borderline a mom to
yeah,
like mother figure. Because when you realize the Sifrin had never really had any parents, uh, Odile's mom left her early in her life. It's cute. I like Odile a lot. We have to talk about the bonding quest because bonding quest is really what makes these characters so great. Um, with hers being immediately kind of tedious at the start, you have to run around all these different places to find a book, which was at the first place you look. Um, but you know, really getting to know her backstory, uh, it's just nice. You know, it's nice. It's I like seeing. It's very natural development of this character because again, she starts very closed off, and it's, it's one of those things that really sucks in the game is intentionally sucks, intentionally a good thing. Um, that as the game goes on, you lose that progress, which you the player and Sifrin the character keeps with them, and they know how Odile is struggling, but Odile herself can't admit it because she doesn't know she's ready to admit it. Um, and as you get later into the chapter and people start to like catch on more, they're starting to like more expose themselves. It's just really smart writing. Um, as you said, Odile has really great dynamics with the other cats because they're probably like they're probably the meanest, probably the rudest, just because they are the adult in the situation. Um, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's like in their 20s besides Bonnie, but
hmm
or I was in their 40s, so they're still the oldest by a decent amount. Um, I've been talking a lot. What do you have to say about Odile?
Odile is that um, every character has something um, diverse about them. I guess we should say, uh, and it with like varying amounts of like focus. And I guess with Odile, they're going for this mixed race thing, and that's part of large part of their friendship quest of like I'm technically from here, but I'm also from this other country that we only ever hear about. Uh,
Yeah, and
and
understanding themselves, accepting themselves.
yeah, and I think there's, I think that's not something we see a lot in game stories, and I think that's really interesting.
Especially nice
Because
because the like the big two, like uh, Sifrin's more like a mental thing. Uh, Bonnie's just kind of a child, and um, Isabu and Mirabelle are more about their gender and sexuality. So I think it's nice to have like again, you don't really see a lot of mixed race focus in fiction, so it's nice to
yeah,
see that kind of dived into.
um, and obviously I don't have too much to say on that part. I'm someone who Uh, as soon as you even get to like great grandparent territory, it's like I don't really care. Um,
They're
it,
white. Right.
that too. But I still think um, it was interesting to see it's like there's like a surprising amount of emotion for a character that's so far been like kind of restrictive with their emotions, and I think that was really interesting. Of that of you see this character, and you're like, oh, they're tough. Oh, nothing can affect them, and then you realize, oh no, this is someone who can be deeply affected by things, and I think that's um, really interesting. They also um, and like and I and the, yeah, I think they
Yeah.
do a really good.
When you when you when you when you when
It's like the meme of the monkey. The monkey's longest sentence. Me eat more.
I
Me eat you.
I was doing the one like video of Invader Zim where it's like you when you when me when you when.
Yeah, I don't think I have the most to say about Odile, but I just really think they're charming.
I
And they
mean,
really take
besides
center
Sifrin, they're definitely the
stage.
character that evolves the most. You can definitely see the clearest through line with
Yeah,
them. Um, and they're also the one that seems to understand the most about what Sifrin's going through. Obviously, they haven't experienced themselves. Being the smartest character in the game, they're the one that just starts putting together something's off with Sifrin. When I think it was Act 3, when Sifrin starts glitching again, she's the one to notice that, like, okay, no, like there's like actual like magical stuff going on. What's Sifrin? Are you okay? Are you okay?
I remember. I was just randomly rechecking the library in the castle where uh, their 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 book that they wanted. One of the
Yeah,
options for where that could
Family
have
Tale.
been. Um, and there's like a moment because I didn't do the request in this loop, so there was a moment where they're like kind of looking over at Sifrin, and even though it was just like a one-off like thing, it was like, oh, they're like getting aware, and I think they
Yeah,
like really, and I think that like uh, being able to understand what's going on a bit better really helped them their dialogue in the very last fight, where it's like
yeah,
they really take center stage in that fight, and I think that's really interesting.
yeah. It's kind of funny. You could look at all these five as the main characters, depending on how you want to look at the story. Um, like Sifrin, duh. Mirabelle, the chosen one. Dial, the one that's like the most focused on in terms of like knowing what's going on. Isabel with his like uh, probably the closest to Sifrin, and has probably the most pivotal moment in the game, which we'll definitely get to. And Bonnie's also there.
Yeah. Bonnie's just a
Bonnie's
silly
just a
little
silly little
gremlin.
creature. um, I feel like we should save of the main four party. We should save your favorite for last. So let's talk about my favorite. What's your thoughts on Mirabelle?
Doing Mirabelle's friendship quest, I think I even messaged you, "Hey, I'm about to do. Hey, I'm doing Mirabelle's friendship quest. I understand why you like this game." And you're like, "Yep."
I did specifically like once you did started the friendship part. I was like, hey, once you do Mirabelle's, tell me. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. I don't. I'm assuming you didn't I've been pretty clear Mirabelle's my favorite. I haven't been clear why she's my favorite. You can probably take a while to guess why now. Um,
Yeah, so Mirabelle's
yeah,
asexual.
yeah. She's airways. It's different actually asexual. Uh, but yeah,
That is
just
true.
yeah, seeing it like so clearly just discussed in the game it just felt nice because you don't get this kind of representation with Ace or Arrow characters at all. Besides Todd, shout out to Goat. But it was just
Mirabelle
like
and
such
Todd
a
death battle.
Mirabelle's murdering that man. Jesus Christ! Infinite speed and starting time is a thing. Todd, get out of there. Um, but um, it was just so great to see that because I'm kind of debating myself if I'm Arrow. That's not fun right now though. So just like seeing her like trying to rationalize with herself of is it weird that I don't want to be with anyone? I like friends, but romance and going even farther than romance, that's just not me. And seeing like her just being told like no it's you're still lovable, you're still accepted, but it's perfectly fine if you don't want to do that stuff. It was just I felt seen. I felt seen. It's been a while since I felt seen in media, and having Sifrin also be like, no, I get it. I'm also Ace. They don't say Ace or Arrow, but like it's super duper clear. It's one of my things where like I don't like that a lot of Ace ref is very easy to miss. It's very much um, implied or it's used with metaphors instead of directly addressing it.
Yeah, like
Something
Fusion.
something paradox, something Alistair. Uh, so see, so even if it's not straight up, the words aren't straight up said. You literally cannot miss this. This is very blatant. And that just it just made me happy. It just made me feel seen. And even if she wasn't Arrow Ace and just wasn't brought up, she was still probably my favorite character in the game. This is just like it goes from I like you to I feel seen by you. But like throughout the entire game, Mirabelle is just she's such a dork. She's such a nice little innocent little dork. Um, she gets kind of picked on a bit by the other people, which I also relate to. um, she's such a nice little creature. She is like the chosen one. A lot of the game revolves around her being like very much the hero in another story kind of thing. Um,
Yeah,
you just have to be playing as different. Um,
like they're
but
always the one to get the final like hit on the king.
yeah, um, it's funny just thinking about like you're the second person. You're the first of two people who play as like oh okay that's why you like that's why you like me. But like am I that predictable?
Yes.
You're not wrong. um, yeah, Mirabelle, she's a really fun character. I really love her. The botched version of her friendship request, even if it hurt me. We'll definitely get to chapter. We'll definitely get Act Five. Like Act Five deserves like its own little segment um
Yeah.
of this podcast. But that hit me super hard. And even besides that, the just like me for realness, she's just a really nice, fun character. She is probably my favorite dynamic with every of the other four. Just because, again, she is like such kind of a dork. Um, I love Mirabelle. She's kind of bordering top 10 favorite characters. It's a very tough battle, but she's definitely super high on my favorite character list.
Yeah.
What do you
Um.
think of her? Because
Uh.
I'm sorry, I had to take over this one line,
No,
but
this
like,
was inevitable. We both knew this how it had to be.
yeah,
Um. But to because I also enjoyed the asexuality storyline, but I'll focus my bit on her other aspects. Uh, Mirabelle is also uh, the most directly like tied to the area, and I think that really helps.
yeah.
Uh,
She's like everyone in the town knows who she is. Everyone in town like
yes,
respects Mirabelle. Even more so, like
and
the others they're kind of a bit more everyone's on a first name basis with Mirabelle. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you're the kid. Oh yeah, you're the guy with the eye patch. Oh yeah, you're the researcher.
yeah, and I think that really helps because she used to like live in the castle before it all went to crap. And I think that really helped that give the castle an extra sense of realness, where it's like this isn't like some JRPG dungeon. This is like a home,
Yeah,
and Mirabelle really
like
helps sell that.
almost every room you're in, and every like NPC you find that's frozen there, she'll have something like, "Oh yeah, I lived here. Oh yeah, I did this here. Oh yeah, I know this person. They're really nice. Or I know this person. This is my roommate. Oh, I know this person. They owe me $5."
Yeah, um, and they're also she's also part of the like changed religion that
Yeah,
the whole castle was before it got frozen. And I think the whole changed religion is genuinely one of the most interesting fantasy religions I've ever heard of. I think that's so interesting.
there's a bit more to talk about that, but I'll save it when we get to, when we're done with like the main things. But yeah, and again, if I can be myself again, I think the idea of her wanting to respect her religion but wanting to be herself, and then Cipher finds a loophole which lets her satisfy both ends. Really, really, it's just nice. It's just nice. I love Mirabelle. Um, I have so much to
Yes.
say about her, but like it's mostly Act 5 stuff. I don't want to get to Act 5 yet.
Yeah.
Uh, so I had my time. What's your thoughts on Eastville?
Um, uh, Isapu is, I mean, obviously I've experienced trans rep in media before, um, but there's something specific about the way Isabeau wrote that made it just fucking, it, it just it felt seen in a way that felt beyond just mere representation.
Yeah,
Um,
I Isabu, like there's been a lot of trans characters, but it's usually kind of like an informed attribute of them. They don't really talk about their experience with becoming trans. So Isabu like
yes,
just be like, yes, this is how I used to be this. I am now this, and I'm better for it. I killed the old me. It's nice because like there's like absolutely zero trans mask representation. Trans representation in general is like pretty lacking, but the ones you usually find are femme, which is good, of course, but like there's like nothing with trans masks. So having Isabu not just be one, but also like one of the best trans reps I've seen is just really, really satisfying.
it
As
really
someone who
is.
isn't trans, I have to stress.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, there is something about um, the way they talk about like, oh yeah, I used to be like quiet and now I'm more outgoing and energetic. It's like, oh, me, and it's like, whoa, and I think
Just like me
there's something
for
really
real.
um and shows this because also just like growing as a person is like a universal experience, right? It's not just inherently trans.
Yeah.
Um,
The game makes
but
it clear that they are trans, but
yes,
yeah, no, everyone. As someone who isn't trans, I can still relate to this. Um,
yeah,
not saying you have to relate to something to make a good character. Because again, neither of us relate to Odile, but yeah, we still really love her. But it is
yes,
really nice to just have
yeah.
this.
Because even as someone who is not specifically a trans man, as someone who is kind of a
Non-binary.
bit funky in the gender department, and also um, is like obviously I'm not the total gym bro that Isabu is, but I'm still
Yeah,
you know uh, I'm outgoing more. I have a more active life, and it's there's a weird part of me that almost feels like Isabu is what I could be in a few years, if that makes any sense. of like, okay, this already feels like I feel like I'm in like the progress I'm on in life. And there was something really kind of surreal about that.
It's the meme of like visualizing the mirror, the man I want to be, and it's just Isabel.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I think beyond that, I think they're a really funny character. I think they're really
Yeah,
charming. They're kind of um, they also do the thing I do where a lot of their like comedy is them playing up how dumb they are, even though they're very smart when they want to be.
yeah, yeah. They're
And
a
I
very
think that was
insightful character. Because
yes,
they could just like they seem like they're just like a big dumb himbo, but like no, they are one of the most insightful and pro- they might be like probably the second smartest character in the show in the game, and overall maybe like the most like insightful and deep
yeah, they're not as book
character in the game.
smart as O'Donnell,
Odile,
um,
yeah,
but they're definitely like they got that wisdom in a way
yeah,
that's really cool to see. Also, they're gay,
they are very
specifically for one, uh, especially for Sifrin. Oh,
who is the final character of the five we need to talk about. So
yeah, the moment where it's like you're trying to get Isabu to confess to you, and you're talking to all the people, you're refighting the king, you're refighting the king, still won't say anything, and then I don't know. There was also something deeply endearing about that. Of like, okay, so you're being so easy to read right now, but I don't know. You still just can't say it because you're I don't know.
yeah,
And I don't know. I haven't had a crush in many years, but I remember like I feel like this is it almost. I've definitely been like that in like high school, where it's like, man, just want to confess to this person, but you just can't. It's like, ugh.
yeah.
And that'll always be like a trope that's like deeply endearing to me. I think I even said something similar in the Hitori Botsu video.
Yeah, I do wish we got more of their relationship because it is. If I can be myself, if I can be annoying for a second, it is very rare to see a dating asexual, a romantic asexual, which different is. So it would have been more nice to see how they would react, how they would adapt that relationship. Um, Especially because the ending kind of implies different doesn't know if Isabu is accepting of that dynamic, which I'm gonna assume is different. Isabu is because Isabu's that guy, but like I would have liked to see more of it.
Yeah, Izubu is probably the wokest person in video games.
I don't think that's a problem. I think he just flat out is like gay trans man dating an ace, best friends with like a bunch of filthy queers. Like this is the woke. This is the woke.
The ally.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I, there needs to be an in-stars in time too, but it's actually just a dating sim for Sifrin and
uh,
Izubu.
dating sim. If you pick Mirabelle, the game crashes.
No, no, it's just Izubu. Only option.
Yeah. I would love like maybe not a full game, but like a little short, just like seeing where they are now, because there's just so much more with these characters. But yeah, I think we have to talk about Sifra now, right?
Yeah, I did.
There's
On that note, I did have a thought of like, man, I would love if they made like a short film of like anything to do with this world.
yeah, this is a really interesting world in the nature of the game because again, it starts with like your very simple fantasy story of you're a bunch of adventurers, kill the villain, pretty simple, sweet and easy. But then again, the gameplay kind of takes takes a backseat to the story and Sifrin's struggle, and King even kind of becomes a more dynamic character, but also a less important in the grand scheme of things character.
Yeah,
He's not the end goal. by the time even we get more added to him. Um, yeah. So
There's
Troop,
a lot of different
yeah,
ways
go.
to talk about Sifrin.
Sifrin is an extremely complicated character, and I do like how they use him because they are the main character. They are the player character, and they're somewhat mute. Like they don't actually like fully speak in sentences, but obviously they still talk to other characters and they acknowledge them. Um, but they are kind of you. It's that's why I feel like Sifrin's like always everyone's second favorite character because like you're always gonna relate to Sifrin more because Sifrin's a character you see every single side of. There's still a lot you don't know about the other four, but Sifrin is you. Um,
Yeah, there's the way of talking about Sifrin as like the main playable character. There's also Sifrin, the gay, somewhere in the Arrowway spectrum. Um,
he's just Ace. He's just Ace.
just Ace.
Yeah, it's funny. You call Mirabelle Ace when she's Arrow Ace, and you call Sifrin Aries when he's Ace. Fake woke. You're getting your woke card removed.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just homophobic. Um,
Yeah, makes sense.
there's also Sifrin, like the genocide survivor, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah, we we kind of forgot to mention that, didn't we? About the whole just different, just as a whole, just geez, yeah, the whole like lost island that Sifrin doesn't really remember. Um, like Sifrin doesn't know what he's supposed to be. Sifrin doesn't know what his life is. Um, and like everyone else has a very clear end goal. Uh, Odile wants to, find a family and uh, understand herself more. Uh, Mirabelle just kind of wants to, you know, Mirabelle's just like save the world, uh, beat the king, reunite with all of the other housemaidens. Um, Eastwood's just kind of there to vibe and learn more about himself, which he's pretty much already found out about everything he needs to know about himself. And then Bonnie wants to reunite with their sister. There really isn't a end goal for Sifrin after they beat the king, and that is kind of the main plot of the story. Of again, we're fully in spoilers. We can talk about this. They are the ones that started the loops, unintentionally. They're the ones that kind of trapped everyone in the loops. Uh, Sifrin's so cool. I'm holding a little plush Sifrin as we speak right now. um,
I want one of those.
I think you just missed out on Odile and Bonnie. Um, they They did reissue Sifrin. It was originally a set of four with Sifrin, Isabu, Mirabelle, and Loop. And they just reissued Sifrin like a month or two ago. Uh, so I'm hoping they'll do the other three. I'm not made out of money, so I'll just do Mirabelle because I kind of like her. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm really hoping. If they do, I will tell you that, dude, Isabu's back. Isabu's back. 'Cause I know you. I know you want that one. Um,
I do.
yeah. The Loop one looks
Um,
so weird. Loop is so skinny. And this one looks weird and gangly. Anyways,
yeah, I'll definitely get my hands on one eventually. Um,
definitely not secondhand because they're gonna go for like $300.
damn, ooh, that's rough.
Yeah. But yeah, Sifrin. Um, again, he is a very complex character, and I appreciate that of him. And he's my friend.
Yeah, I really think Sifrin. Um, uh, they do enact on the classic RPG maker trope of this main character is depressed.
Yeah.
I think they do that really well here, and I think the
Okay,
specifics of it
another
does help them
another
stand out.
quirky Earthbound inspired game, RPG game about depression. Sigh.
To be fair, this one doesn't feel that Earthbound inspired. Like I'm sure there's something in there, but
There's a town in it, and there's a group of four heroes that are adventuring. So it's just another Earthbound inspired game. Sigh.
yeah. To be fair, every time I see that town, all I can think of is Termina.
Freaking course.
I mean, yeah. I think there is like an interesting discussion of like comparing this between Stars in Time and Majora's Mask, but I don't know how much time there is in the day because I could go.
Time.
I think if I did make an Stars in Time video, it'd be like something like that, but I don't know if I'm committing to that just yet. Did
I
you
feel like there's so
die?
much more to say about Sifrin,
There's so
but
much to say about Sifrin.
yeah. Uh, Again, they're my second favorite character. I think they're yours as well. They're just
Mhm.
we'll probably get more into it as we go into the acts. I don't really think there's much to say about most of the acts besides Act Five, because we kind of we are. I mean, first one is mostly just like here are the characters, here's the world, and here's the most basic story possible. Do it. Act Two is you learn more about time and the loops, and you complete the main goal. Act Three is putting yourself together, connecting more with your friends, um, finding a solution to beat the loops, but it doesn't work. Act Four is just kind of you're desperate, you're trying to do anything to fix it, just nothing's working. And then Act Five is depression.
Yeah. Um,
Sh- should
before
I
we
should we
get
brief?
into
Yeah, go.
what's up,
Uh,
you speak first.
should we talk about King and Loop first? Should we do? I believe you want to talk about Act Five, right?
Um, let's talk about. Here, sorry, I need a cough. There we go. I've coughed. Let's talk about King and Loop, and then I want to discuss like my main. I had this huge theory that I was so sure was correct, and that it was completely off. And then we can talk about the actual what actually did end up happening.
Yeah. Um.
Let's talk about King
So
first.
King. He he seems like this kind of generic, like I'm evil because I'm evil kind of character. Um. And he's still like very very freaking evil, but I do like they give him enough backstory to make you sympathize with him, but he's very much not like a likable character. I really appreciate that kind of take on a villain like that.
Yeah, he's someone who's probably also depressed if you want to get to look at it, but they've taken it in such a uh, deeply hurtful route.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
it is like the hurt people sort of deal.
yeah, they are what Sifrin could be if they don't course correct. Um, where they're definitely they're literal like not even their eye animation. The only time we really see them is where they're like really covering their face. It looks like they're crying. Um, and he, from the same city, same town, same village, whatever you want to say, as Sifrin. They didn't know each other, but like it they're part of the same country. That is
Yeah,
no longer around anymore.
which is also
Uh,
one of the coolest like story like points that they just don't. So what they do is there's this country and it's gone, and everyone remembers that there was a country there. They know that it's gone now, and that's all anybody knows. The history is gone, the language is gone, besides like a few books that only Sifrin can read. And it is so uh like I mentioned that like, oh, Sifrin's the survivor of a genocide. And it's like and that really is exactly what they're doing. And they don't say the words specifically, but it's so like um and there is like, oh wow, the big character is from this country that is gone, and also it's not the main point of the story. It's like like solving the mystery of this country could have been the story, and it's like a little bit more than a background detail. Um, it's
It
like
is important. It is very important,
yeah,
but it
it
just
is
isn't
important.
like the main thing.
Yeah,
So, Cifrin's got
it's
bigger
such an
fish to
interesting
fry. I
one.
think that's a big thing. If there was ever like a sequel to this game, you kind of have to be like, okay, let's find more about this country. Um, but Cifrin's kind of trapped in a time loop. I feel that's the more important thing.
Yeah, but I the whole time I was like, okay, when are we gonna get answers about the country? And it's like, oh, we don't really. We know it has something to do, like they were really into cosmology. That's
Yeah.
basically um. So in my head, it's kind of a Cosmo Canyon from Final Fantasy VII type of vibe, but it no one can say for certain.
Yeah. That is kind of the thing because like Cifrin was given the option to find more about his country if he worked with King, but like that's just not going to happen. So it's like for the greater good, uh, and he decided to kind of give up on the countryside of him and be his own person.
Yeah, which is really sad.
It is sad, but I feel like it works thematically.
Yes. Um. Yeah, but it's such this terrifying idea of like, oh, there can be a place, and it can just be forgotten, and it's like, you know, there's man, and I think that was such a again, this is such a really interesting fantasy world, which is especially grand considering the fact that you really only are in like one town and one castle. But just from what you hear from the other characters, it makes the world seem so interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but the king in general, um,
Do we talk about the scene in Act 3?
is that where they get Bonnie?
Yeah.
That was dark because Bonnie is like can never die, but then there's one moment where it's like, oh shoot, is Bonnie gonna get got? And that's like one of the first scenes is like the horror really starts to ramp up because there's never like a full on horror, but there's definitely like horror elements, and that's like one of
Um,
the first moments of it.
the, did you get the scene where after the scene with the king killing Bonnie and you loop? Uh, if you talk to Bonnie, there's a small chance where there's like a jump scare where it'll just show Bonnie's like face completely faceless, um, and the music
Oh,
will
I
cut out.
didn't, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. 'Cause that's spooky.
Yeah, yeah. It's I believe it's somewhat random, but if you talk to Bonnie uh, after the king scene, like when you go to like in the village, when you go to the village, and you first talk to them, it doesn't happen in the castle. We talk to them in the village. There's a small chance that Bonnie might like there's just like a song that makes you jump scare of just Bonnie without a face. Um,
I did
I
get
got that.
something like that. You got that?
Yeah, I got the Bonnie jump scare.
Uh, um, there was I got something like that, but with Odile, and I don't know if that was something that was inevitable, and I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I remember being like, I remember just thinking, Doki Doki.
What happened with her dial?
It was something with her face. I feel like,
I don't remember because I know there's a lot of like random events that might happen in the game. That's kind of why when I threw in Easter eggs, that's kind of what I want to talk about. If you do like very certain things, you could trigger certain scenes. Um, a few of the ones that I know. Probably the most common one. I'm gonna assume you probably also got this one because everyone I've talked to has achieved this, even if it's technically a optional scene. In the tutorial fight, did Sifrin ever go crazy and like instant kill the sadness?
yeah, I had no idea that wasn't. I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
figured
no.
that was like a mandatory thing.
It's it's basically mandatory, but it's random when it will happen. Um,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
yeah, yeah, no, that is that is a random ish thing. There's
I
another one
think I
where
got it after
actually,
doing all the friendship quests, and I think that was like,
yeah, there's usually when it happens. It doesn't affect your loop counter, so you still keep the friends request stuff. But yeah, uh, that was a great scene by the way. Just like the reactions of the four just really shows off their personality as well. Different trying to play it off.
yeah,
It's
that's
probably
like,
one of the best showcases of their depression.
yeah, that's the moment where it's like, oh, this is where we're going, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of like a point of no return. Um, there's one where when you at the end of like right before you fight the uh in like the final like floor before the king, and you go to the I think there's like like a space observatory thing, and they talk about the change god and like the change god or someone teleports them to like the main room. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or am I being stupid?
Yeah, you talk to the changed god, and you get teleported back to the main area. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You there is there's a chance if you do everything if you set everything up correctly, you can actually you and Mirabelle get teleported to a new dimension. You actually meet a change god. So they're real. They're canonically real. Um, and they they talk in this like kind of like weird ooh tumblery core
Dear God.
emoticon way. Yeah. Say it.
Well, like they're fucking Temmie from Undertale.
Yeah, no, yeah, Temmie. Temmie, no, they sound like Temmie, 100%. That's the best way to
Boy,
put it.
I'm the change god.
Yeah, that's literally what they talk like. And they tell Mirabelle that like they fully accept Mirabelle. They what Mirabelle is doing with her sexuality is in fact applying with the um change god with the change religion. And they're very proud of her. Um, Throughout this time, they shift. Their portrait is just like every other character's portrait. Like they become the other party members and a few of the NPCs in Loop. So they don't really have like a defined appearance. And they accept Mirabelle and they love her, and then they send her back, and they turn to you and like, I hate you, I despise you. Your entire existence is against my religion because you don't change. You just reset everything. Um, and they kind of drop their like their Temmie speak. Uh, so I
That's
just think that's kind of interesting.
sick.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's like a really comforting thing for Mirabelle. It's like, oh no, God, even God hates you.
I mean that makes
Because they do
sense, but
genuinely seem, yeah. Again, it's all about change, and Sifrin's entire thing is that he just keeps redoing everything.
that is so
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, you can look up these scenes. There's another one. I
Yeah,
believe it's called like I believe it's called Bad Touch, where in the start when you're talking to Isabu, and Sifrin gets mad like Isabu never wants to touch him, so he just goes in for the kill, and he kisses Isabu. Uh, Before Isabu's ready, Isabu pushes him away and is like kind of disturbed by it, and that causes Sifrin to immediately loop and reset.
I think I did get that.
You would, you would. Of
Uh,
course, you would
yeah,
get the gay makeout scene.
yeah.
Um, there's a few others. Those are like the big ones that really stuck out to me. Um,
There's the loop fight. Want to talk about loop?
oh yeah, that's not that's kind of different, but like yeah, Loop, very interesting character. First off, this is like the most Tumblr sexy man bait character I've ever seen in my life. Second off, uh, uh, I think I should just spoil the big thing. This is a very much set in the fight, but not really set in the main story. You know how I mentioned that this is a like a sequel to a indie RPG mixed game. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So Loop is actually the Sifrin from that game.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So, so, the, so they in the game they got tired of these loops and they ask. I think it might have been the Chains God or just it might have been just like the universe itself. Like I'm tired of these loops. Free me from this. I'll do anything. So the way that he's free is that he's now trapped in another person's story, another different story. Um, and your first he starts off. Frick. I'm sorry. They start
Yeah.
off very helpful, very respectful and nice to Sifrin. Um, but if you do the final boss fight, it's revealed that like they're extremely resentful because they get to see you go on have your happy ending with all your friends, while they're just kind of stuck being themselves. They're stuck in this like they're basically in a loop because they can't leave the tree. They're stuck underneath the tree for the rest of their life. So while they were tasked with helping you, they're kind of resentful. They're like, you got their ending they wanted. You got everything they wanted, and then you fight. The fight's interesting because you only do it once. Uh, if you if you uh, beat Loop, you pin him down with your knife, and and you know uh, basically moves kind of suicidal. Before uh, and then uh, if you lose to Loop, Loop's ready to kill you. But both times you actually manage to talk to Loop and be like, uh, Loop, I would not be here if it wasn't for you. You are important. You do matter. Um, I I will forever be grateful that you are my friend. Uh, and then both times Loop kind of backs off and accepts what they are, uh, and just kind of asks Sifrin to always remember them, and if their friends ever drift apart, just be respectful about it as they then kind of die. If you don't fight a loop fight, you can still go back. If you don't activate the requirements to fight loop, you can go back and see underneath the tree. Um, he, Nothing's there. It's just like, oh, loop's gone, and I believe they leave like a coin or something.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
That is interesting. I really like loop. I had no
yeah.
idea that they had that connection. I didn't even know there was a
Yeah.
pirate game, so
Yeah, like when you said like at the start, like you didn't know that there was a press start. I was like, oh, you don't know, you don't know. Uh, yeah, Loop's a very fun character. I do like again. They're very snarky and very kind of almost rude, but they are like the biggest helper, the biggest support. Uh, they're a good anti frustration feature where if you're ever stumped, you can always just go ask the loop, and loop will tell you what you need to do. Um,
Yeah, Loop saved me a few times because it's also kind of hard to like keep a track of everything,
yeah,
and so being able to talk to Loop and being like, oh right, there is this quest I can do. That is right.
yeah,
It was yeah, and also they're just kind of fun. I think the fact that they're kind of a bit more willing to play. Because one of the interesting things about Different in comparison to a lot of the other time loop stories is, for the most part, they're always trying to like be nice to their friends. And obviously there's we'll get to it, but um, like Loop is like, you know what? I want to see what'll happen if they all die, but you don't. It's like whoa, and it's like, and they kind of play the more well, if we can do anything, let's do anything, you know.
yeah,
And I think that's interesting.
yeah. They're very much like a neutral character. Where like they're still trying to help you, but also, again, they hate you. They kind of hate. They kind of resent that you're doing what they want it to be. Um, because there's tons of Sifrins out there. Like you, that's another one. Are you actually like, you see a lot of like Sifrin illusions throughout the game. There is a special event where the the four like you for the first time your party member sees them and they're like, oh, what's this? There's another Sifrin. That's so cool. And then they see the Sifrin's face and they're all horrified. You a player do not see it. Sifrin as a character does not see it. But there's something off about this like Sifrin illusion, and they all refuse to
Ooh,
mention it. Yeah,
okay, that's interesting.
yeah. Definitely when we're done with this, like try to look up all these scenes. These are really interesting scenes. Also watch my video. I jump in there.
Yeah. Um, the way I prepared for this video is I did this specifically for you. I didn't watch any video essays, so these are like all my like raw opinions.
Yeah.
No YouTuber
So
gave me my opinions.
first time
Um,
for everything.
yeah, and so that's also why there's like a lot of like little details that I might be either misremembering or just
Yeah.
straight up don't know.
I, yeah. Again, I'm kind of on the same boat because I beat this game in September. I made the video in November, so it's been a while since I really had this on my mind super thoroughly. Obviously, I still think about the game, and this is still a very special game to me. But like, yeah,
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so can I go over my main theory?
yeah,
So in the game, one of one of the things you can equip basically is memories. So you can do like like um, memories of uh, like you talk to Bonnie, and you'll get like a memory of
I
Bonnie
I I,
that'll
I know what you mean.
make them. Yes, I was so sure that what we were playing had happened years ago, and like this is like the whole game was a memory, and that's why like we could influence how other characters acted, is because oh, that's how modern Sifrin a few years from now remembers them, and that's what's changing things. And there's something along those lines of what if we really start forgetting? What if we start forgetting Bonnie? What if we start forgetting the other characters? Um, I thought the whole game was gonna like start corrupting as like our memory of that day like slowly starts to fade, and that's where I thought it was going for the longest time until it just sort of didn't happen.
That's not a weird thought to have, especially with Act Five, where the music gets really distorted and weird.
Yeah,
So not a plausible theory. Obviously, very much not true. I'm glad it's not
Yeah,
2000
once
even more depressing.
yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I was a bit wary of playing this game is because I had this really depressing theory in my head, and I was like, I don't. This game is gonna make me so sad if I'm right, and then I wasn't right, kind of thankfully. But that is one of the reasons I almost took a bit of a break from playing this because it's like
The game
if
still made you
I'm
sad, but
absolutely
like,
correct,
yeah, the game's still very much a sad game. But like,
yes, but sad in a way I could. I really thought this was gonna end up being something about like just like dead memories, you know.
yeah,
Um, especially when Loop has a line of like, "Oh yeah, when you go up, you'll forget some stuff, but it'll be like the battles. It won't be anything important." Like, oh my god, we're gonna forget everybody. There's
yeah,
gonna be a scene of like,
yeah. But no,
yeah,
that's just kind of a line to justify the gameplay. That's not story based at all. It's really funny that that's something you held on to.
yeah, uh, yeah. No, I was. So I was already like suspicious about the whole memory thing, and then that line came up, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've solved it." Uh,
All your theories are wrong. Goodbye.
yes. Um, no, no, no. If there's anything I've learned from my Deltarune prediction videos, it's that I'm not that good at theorizing. But
Death battle: Robin versus MatPat. Who wins?
well, I think I scaled closer to you, and because you're so high up, I think I win.
I mean, yeah, MatPat does have the single fastest speed feat ever calculated, but I have someone calculated mine to be like infinite speed, so like I guess you win if you
All
scale
right,
to
I know
me.
this has nothing to do with It Stars in Time, but you need to elaborate on the Mad Pat speed thing.
Okay. I probably shouldn't have said that without going to a tangent. Okay, so you remember in his Mario Maker video, there was like a random throwaway joke where he explains that he was making Mario Maker levels throughout like repeating time or something like around those lines. I can find the map path speed feed. Just so I can let's see. Okay. Um, MatPat creates every single possible Mario Maker level within 2 billion years. Assuming that for each level, MatPat has traveled the Wii U pad's max length around 10 times, which is a fair assumption because blah blah blah. MatPat traveled a distance of 1.6 meters per level, which you multiply by the 9.5 times 10 to the 6,000 possible levels to MatPat travel. Um, a time frame of about 2 billion cycles due to statements get to okay so so basically because yeah he's just moving really freaking fast while making Mario Maker levels just for like an ungodly amount of time.
You know, that's why
um
he's the goat.
yeah that is the single fastest speed feat ever calculated that you can actually like, get a finite number to because obviously there's like infinite speed stuff but like if a character is not infinite speed, a map path speed blitzes them, and someone decide, hey, wait a second, he's actually making stuff as he does this. How strong is he? So someone calculated it. He's number doesn't even exist times universal. Um, uh, map path in just his finger is like a billion times stronger than Superman. Just his finger, by the way, because that's how he's making these levels.
So he could probably beat Homelander.
Not probably. He's ripped that man in half. Uh,
True.
anyways, anyways, we're not talking about map we're talking about exact time. When you do the pod, like when you put this, can you just like have like the time codes be like Inside of Time Part One for like a giant loop, like a giant like chunk of it, and then just like the 5 minutes like map pat break, and then go back to Inside of Time when you do like the time
Yeah,
codes on
the
YouTube.
inevitable Mad Pad section of our podcast.
Yeah. um, what are we talking about again?
So, so let's talk about the depressing stuff.
Oh yeah, Act Five. Oh, wasn't the map pat stuff so funny? Anyways, all of Sifrin's friends hate him. Um, uh, a little fun, depressing thing that has nothing to do with Act Five. Fun things, really fun things. So another one of these things that you can unlock is you can push loop to giving you the ability to stab yourself uh, to 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 do a loop. Um,
Ooh,
I didn't know this. I was not aware of this until I started like researching for the video. But there's a way that you can just commit suicide just to start a loop. And even Loop, who's like who's Loop, who's very coy and kind of rude to you, is like, dude, don't do that, dude, no, dude, stop. But eventually, you can keep pushing them, and they'll give you the ability. Um,
yeah.
Something really sad is that like if you do it consistently, you know how every time you die, there's like a little like blurb. Um, it's different. They don't really feel anything anymore if you keep doing it so consistently.
Fuck.
Uh, so with that little thought, yeah, Act Five was rough. I I stopped playing after I did like the friendship, the botch friendship quest for like 2 days because it messed me up.
Yeah,
Mirabelle is always the first one you have to do. Mirabelle is
right.
kind of locked in as the first one you do. Um, and
I yeah, I know I already mentioned it. It really did give me the exact same vibes as like the Undertale genocide route, where it's like, oh, but why am I doing this? I love them. I love Isabu and Papyrus. Why am I doing this to them? You know?
yeah,
And even
um,
though the in 2010 characters got off way easier than the Undertale characters did, it's like it's that moment of like, oh, my character's doing things I don't agree with because I'm insane.
like you can understand what Sifrin's doing. Like he's not evil. They're just
No,
kind
no.
of yeah. They're stressed. They're tired of being in these loops. You probably know. I think you even brought this up to me, but like, uh, the loop counter will start glitching. It'll go from the amount you actually have to like insanely high number. It'll skip like 10 loops because Sifrin just can't remember anymore what loop he's on.
Yeah.
Um, and you also pointed this out to me. The how like the UI will actually get like more and more depressing. Sifrin will go from like smiling to kind of discontent to just full on angry. Um, I don't know if you noticed, but in Act I think 4 and 5, I think it's just Act 4. If Sifrin like dies or gets frozen, they're actually smiling when they used to
Ooh,
be like upset. Because they're just happy to be out of the loop for a brief time.
I
If you
didn't
look at
notice
their
that.
UI,
That's
yeah, it's a really messed up game. Um, but yeah,
yeah.
Mirabelle's obviously as someone who's ace and potentially arrow ace. That's not the time to talk about that. Uh, just the idea of being told like, yeah, no, you will die alone. No one will love you. Just accept that. Um, Sifford says it a bit more nicer. He flowers it up a bit, but like that is more or less what he's saying, and that's what Mirabelle takes from it. Um, it hurt. It absolutely hurt. Um,
Hmm.
it might be the biggest gut punch to me, even more than like the Bonnie scene of them dying and the other friendship request and the ending and multiplays, which we'll get to multiplays soon. Um, it hurt. It really, really hurt. It, frick, I don't want to get too into it because it's really
Yeah.
close to home. because I've been told stuff like this a lot. Um, it's another one of the reasons why I really appreciate this game because not only do they have an openly airways character, they address the complaints people get, like the backlash the sexuality gets with it in a really nuanced way that I appreciate. And there's a very happy ending at the end, which we'll get to. But
Right.
yeah. You have anything
I
else you want
think
to say about the Mirabelle one?
Mirabelle's no. I didn't have as much of a reaction to that, but it was like my main takeaway after doing that was, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to do that 4 more times.
Three.
Yeah, yeah, three. Sorry. Um,
Um,
and yeah, that
yeah, it was kind of a like obviously Mirabelle's hurt the most for me. There's one that you could maybe argue was also pretty hard hitting. You know which one, but yeah. Uh, you can actually do Odile or Bonnie in either in whatever way you want. Um,
I did Bonnie first.
I did Bonnie first too. I also feel like it works better if you do Bonnie first. There's no order, but and I just did it randomly. But Bonnie I feel like works better if you do it first because for both Bonnie and Mirabelle, you could see what Sifrin was trying to do because again they're trying to rush through things. They said and did wrong things, but you could understand the thought process. While
Right.
Odile is just kind of that's the point of no return. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, more than any, I understand what Sifrin was doing with Bonnie. Like Bonnie wants to fight. Bonnie only starts fighting when Sifrin's in trouble. Immediately trip out the gate to get to get um, Bonnie to fight, which does work. But Bonnie is not an idiot. If Bonnie understands, wait, you tripped, you put yourself in harm's way. Why'd you do that? You can't really tell Bonnie why you did that, and then it it hurt. It's probably the one that hurts the least, but it's still like I still have two more of these good to go, don't I? um,
Yeah, Bonnie
it,
was like, because my reaction of that was like, um, it's like, oh, this is how far Sifrin's willing to go. It's like, oh, they're fully okay with hurting themselves
yeah,
just to like push things along, just to keep moving, just to keep going, just
yes,
so that a new thing can happen. Because they're so tired of doing the same thing over and over again that they're like, okay, let's just get it over with. Let me just,
let me just
feel the
trip.
hurt.
Let me just fall. Yeah,
Yeah,
just so I can, just so Bonnie can save me. Um,
I will say,
yeah,
um, about Bonnie's. This is about their good friendship quest. Bonnie has 3 checks of. Do you remember their favorite foods?
yeah.
I guessed totally random, and my first try, and I got it. Like I just sort of I just soul read this child, and I won. Like I
Anyways,
didn't
let's
have to
talk
do.
about depression.
Oh yeah,
Um,
uh, but
so
then
Dial is next.
Odile.
Yeah. Um,
That is probably the one that got me the most.
uh, again, I have a lot more personal connection to Mirabelle and East Boost, who we'll get to, is just like the don't do this moment. But Odile's hurts so much because, um, like I listen. If I was also like a time traveler and I knew exactly where the thing my friend needed, the thing my friend wanted was, I would be like, okay, yeah, let's not do this garbage. Let's just be like, hey, yo, this one guy has a book. Let's ask him for the book. Like I get that, but the way that Surfing does it is so like suspicious. Um, and it's nice because like Odile again, the wisest, the oldest member of the group, immediately realizes Sifrin, something's wrong. Let's talk. I'm glad you got the book for me, but like, what's wrong? I'm here for you. And then Sifrin snaps. And then
Sifrin gets
like,
mean.
yeah. The other two, I could understand what Sifrin was going through. Other two, I get Sifrin's viewpoint. This one, this is like everyone agrees, and they're not supposed to sympathize with him, so I can't hold against the game. But like, Sifrin went too far, brought up that like about her family and it being abandoned. Um,
Yeah, Sifrin. Yeah, that's the moment where it's like, if this is,
it was already
and I
clear
feel
Act
like it
Five
makes
was not going
sense,
to be fun, but like,
and the Odile has always kind of had like, as you get later in the game, there is these moments where it's like Odile clearly has a way of like really affecting Sifrin, of even more than like the others, of like there's her one comment of them not being friends, and that really messes with Sifrin for a while. And so like
yeah,
Odile like clearly has this um uh, like Sifrin really listens to Odile, and I think what was happening in that moment of was them just
letting it all go,
feeling
letting it all out.
unloved and feeling they already had so much hurt that I think like it really was like kind of like the king, where it's like you really just want to hurt this person just because you need to hurt somebody right now, and that's so like it's such a like it's like fuck, dude, that's you know like the thing. I feel like a lot of people just like try and like constantly remember like, nope, I can't hurt this person. I'm good, and they haven't done anything to me. I'm trying to be normal right now, and you can understand why Sifrin broke, but it's also like, whoa, that's you know they get smacked at the end. And it's like, yeah, I'm surprised
Yeah,
you weren't punched.
I want. It was Mirabelle who slapped Sifrin. Odile like
They
grabs
both did.
him. Yeah. Oh, do they? What's that? I thought Odile grabs him.
They grabbed and slapped.
Okay. I can't blame him either way. Um,
Exactly.
because especially if you look at Odile's viewpoint, because from their viewpoint, like this is like the start of the game. Like they were just told of the king, and now it's suddenly like, uh, by the way, I know exactly what you're looking for. By the way, also I know exactly where it is. By the way, also you need to read this right now. By the way, also blah blah blah, blah. And like I get it. I get it 100%. Um,
Yeah,
because
this game kind of taps into uh, the because this is something that kind of always happens in these sort of Groundhog Day stories, but this one gets into like the horror of it. Of there's this person who I knew yesterday, and today there's something completely different. They know things they shouldn't, and I don't know why. Um, and I think there's something like weirdly terrifying of that. Of like you just know somebody, and one day they're wrong, with like a capital
yeah,
W, and it's like I think that is really exemplified here, where it's like Sifrin is showing because Odile's been so secretive, but or Sifrin is showing that they know all these secrets for reasons that can't possibly be explained through natural means,
yeah.
and that's just weirdly creepy. And I think that's like the most like I think that was the most like unnerving part for me. I think even for the whole game, even including like
What we'll get
the,
to.
the weird Sifrin fight.
Yeah, we'll get the mail. Um, but yeah, because it seemed like there could be a light in the tunnel here because again, Odile, the most like skeptical, secretive, kind of selfish. Again, as you said, like Sif said, they're not friends with Sifrin. It took a
But
lot
they
for
are
them to fully
family.
connect. Yeah, yeah, they are. Uh, like kind of the most like to themselves of the five. Um, is the one that immediately throws down like, no, Sifrin, something's up. Let's talk. I relate to you. I'm with you. And then they just get so shot down. It I am happy I did this before. I did this after Bonnie because I think getting the two like understandable ones and then getting the one where it's just like no, there's no turning back now.
And then there's
I
Isabu.
And then there's Isabel. I like Isabu knew what you've done through three. Isabu has heard what you said about two through three. And he doesn't care because he's your friend. And he keeps going on about this. So that's an inspiring story. Uh, and then the fast forward icon appears. I this actually I don't know about you. I genuinely stayed here for like 2 minutes, just hoping something else would happen. Hoping that like there's a secret ending where you can avoid all of this and you don't have to do what the game clearly wants you to do. As the screen slowly gets darker and darker and you see less and less of it. Um, Obviously there's not like a secret ending. You have to fast forward. You have to ignore him.
Right.
That broke me. That was a lot.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's different. Like, it's weird because that's almost kind of the thing that they've been wanting is like new interactions and new experiences, and Isabu is doing this new thing, and they can't care because they know that it because I think they're already kind of resigned out of this loop, and they're so focused on just other stuff that even though they're
They,
getting what they want, they just can't care.
yes. Sifrin is so focused on I think I know how to break the loop. I think I know how to finally fix everything. Um so they don't really care about anything else that doesn't directly contribute to breaking the loop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that felt very again
Uh,
like this is a game that's like good at like a game is it's a certified RPG maker game about depression when it starts reminding you of 2020. Yeah,
yeah, like this one really hurt. I like I was like, don't do this. Do not make me do this. Do not make me press the button. Again, I genuinely stayed there for 2 minutes, just hoping like there has to be a way around this. There has to be a way around this.
especially
There's
when it's
not.
Isabu who
Yeah,
deserves the world.
they all do, in fairness, but also, uh, just that like, because again, he knows exactly what he said to everyone else. They've made it pretty clear. Everyone else told uh, Isabu what Sifrin did, and he doesn't care because he realized something's up. Kind of like Odile, he realizes something up. He realizes something's wrong. He just wants you to feel better. He's giving you this extremely emotional speech, but it's not what Sifrin wants. Sifrin wants answers. Sifrin does not want more. So then he fast forwards and he nods off, and Isabu realizes, "Hey, no, you've changed. You're no longer the one I know." Um, After that, the
Right.
chapter kind of you overhear all your friends saying that like something's up with Sifrin. We can't bring him with us to, to the castle. So Sifrin sneaks out to themselves. You go through the really like messed up version of the castle, which is an interesting way to you know redo uh yeah show Sifrin's mental state while also being able to play through the game uh in a kind of a new way. Um,
Right.
and then you fight the king, and the king kills you. Uh, and then you go to like the empty room where there's nothing besides footsteps, and you meet I believe Malduplays. I don't know how you pronounce it. Um, I think it's
I
like
wouldn't know either. I was so
yeah,
confused by that moment.
yeah. I believe it's like French for like sadness, French for alone, or something along those lines. Um, So what do you think of the male boss fight and scene and everything about that?
There's moments in stories where I'm normally like I try to be analytical and I try to figure out, okay, this is happening, why is this happening, what will this cause? That's usually how I enjoy telling stories or interacting with stories. But there are these moments where something uh, so weird and so like that's clearly just a raw emotion happens, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna stop thinking about the big. I'm just gonna start feeling emotions, and I think this was that moment for me in this game. It also really reminded me of Amori. I don't know if you've played that, but I'm sure you've know enough about it through osmosis.
Yes, to both. I've not played it,
Yeah,
but I do know enough about it.
yeah, but but there are fights in Amori that are very similar. Um, and I think you would enjoy Amori. It's a longer game, longer than this, but I think you would. If you like this, you would like Amori. That's my belief, but that is a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think the fight was just like um, it was confusing. It was off putting. It, it was
It's clearly like inside Sifrin's mind. This is kind of
yeah
Sifrin like fighting their own thoughts because again, you were just frozen by King.
yeah. It's
Uh,
almost like you're fighting the concept of the loop itself of like the raw emotion that the loops provide. And
yeah,
since loops are like very like depression coded, it is almost like JRPG battle against your depression. Um,
yeah.
and
Uh,
I think that's a very interesting idea. I do sort of wish there was more gameplay to the fight because it just kind of felt like going
but
through a
again, this
cutscene.
is it is objectively yeah. Well,
Yeah,
again, the game does kind of go from gameplay focused to story focused. So this
yeah,
makes sense. Um,
yeah. And I understand that, and there was a lot of merit in doing that. There is a small part of me that wishes there was a bit more game in this. That
that's
is
fair.
the, but also I really don't know how you would do that and keep the story as good as it is. So maybe it's just my personal biases. But that's truly like the closest thing I can think of to like a complaint of the game. Other than that, I really love it.
Yeah. Um,
But
uh,
yeah,
so yeah,
I thought this boss fight was very emotional, and I thought it really I thought it hit right.
yeah. All of them really, really hurt, but like freaking uh, Mirabelle just saying, "I never want to see you again," and that that devastated me.
Yeah, especially because it's like it's not true. They're your
Yeah,
friends still. They still love. We'll get into that, but it's like yeah,
yeah. But then you
because
wake up
we've all
and
had
you
those
see
moments where
everyone's
we have like that
yeah,
version of people we know in our head that are saying stuff to us that we kind of know aren't true, but it still feels as though they're really saying it to us, you know. And
yeah.
so yeah. Once again, man, remember 2020?
I try not to. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah. But hey, everything's good because you wake up and all your friends are there fighting King, and they finally beat him. Mirabelle reflects his like big super attack back onto him, taking him out of the picture. But in the final like moments, he remembers what the country was. He doesn't say it, but he dies in some kind of peace, and everything
I
is
like
set back to
that.
normal. Um, and everyone's starting to piece things together about you and how why you're so weak, in the moment. Uh, and everyone like happily walks you slowly over to the head house maiden. Uh, a different illusion follows you behind you. Um, it's never like noted upon or anything, but like you can very clearly see him behind you. Um, and they talk to the head house maiden, and it's revealed like after this, everyone's gonna kind of go their separate ways, uh, which causes Zephyrin to freak out and become essentially he's not even the final boss. The final boss is your friends essentially.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's like what the one ability to just hit yourself, and that's what I just kept doing throughout that whole thing.
yeah. That is kind of what you're supposed to do. Uh,
Yeah. Did you also
uh
think about Steven Universe future when playing this fight, or was that just me?
yeah, yeah. No, no. I can see that. Uh, Main character turns into this giant monster and has to be beaten down by their friends, like saying they love them and they accept them.
Yeah. If I had a nickel,
Uh, uh, I do like that our dial just like glows off, immediately starts attacking you.
yeah. Again, they're kind of the goat.
Yeah. Um, but, all while Mirabelle will constantly heal you, even as you damage yourself. Um,
Because she's the goat.
yeah. Uh, kind of like Mile, this is more of just a cutscene, but the fact that you're the one saying that you stabbed yourself, that you hurt yourself, does make you feel a bit more like, don't do this to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's very self. I mean, it literally is self harm.
Yeah. That's such a good game. But yeah, I guess we should talk about just the ending. Everyone calms you down. You're falling through space, uh,
Yeah,
and everyone confirms that no, they are your friends. They're your family. They're not going to abandon you. They're not going to leave you. Um,
that is, I think, the most impactful thing about this game is the idea that um, Sifrin does something cool, but it was clearly n- because of something else, right? And because they're going through depression, because they're going through this really hard time, and that means they don't act perfect.
yeah,
And there's this moment of like, oh, do these people still love me, even though I wasn't perfect? And yes, they do still love you. They're still your friends, you know? Um, and you're still cared about, even though you weren't perfect. And I think there's something very beautiful about that. Because again, I think we've all had that moment of, I just fucked up. I
yeah,
need, and then, you know, the, and like, yeah, Sifrin repent and they apologize. And that is, I mean, obviously, there's maybe they'll get mad about it again in the future, but, you know, the fact that they weren't, the fact that they were mean once wasn't the end of the world. It, it the fact that they're now trying to, now that they're getting over it, now that they're just getting out of this phase, um, they can come out of their depressive phase and still be loved. And I think there's
yeah,
there's something really impactful about that.
yeah. And you talk to everyone at the end, because again, they didn't experience the actual friends request. They didn't experience a lot of the game that you have. Um, so I do appreciate them kind of course correct, like not course correct, but getting everyone kind of caught up with the versions that we know. Um, they set up that Mirabelle is still kind of contemplating about the change religion, and you start pushing her to the right path of being Airways, which I of course I appreciated. You and Bonnie make up uh, uh, about the whole eye thing. Odile has a really strong point of if you didn't have the loops, we would have just failed with the king fight because no one would have been able to prepare for his insta kill move. Um, Alongside just being cute and giving Seraphim a nice little pat on the head. It's cute. It's cute. It makes me happy. And then of
The
course
moment,
Isabel confesses. Yeah, go.
yeah, every character has such a good final moments. That last conversation with Mirabelle, I already mentioned Bonnie having that funny line of, "Man, if I went through all that loop stuff, I would blow up the world."
Blow up the world.
Um, Odile calling Sifrin cute because be they wanted to stay with the party so bad that they because the canon explanation for the loops is this wishcraft stuff, which is not really the point. It's um, but like, wow, you found this ancient magic just to stay friends with us. That's adorable. That's really funny. And then
I mean,
Isabu,
she's right. It is pretty cute.
yeah, and then Isabu tells Sifrin that they love them because you can still be loved even after you've had a depressive spiral where you're kind of a jackass. And I think
Yeah.
that's lovely.
Like
Um,
I do really wish they went more into it because Sifrin even like says like, will you like he doesn't straight mention that he's ace, but like, will you be able to accept me like I can't love you the same way you might want me to love you, which I kind of interpret it as the asexual thing. Um,
yeah,
which I would have liked to see more of that, but it is pretty established. Like, no, there is something there between them. There is a spark between them. So that's nice. That's cute. That's adorable. I'm glad we're getting more representation for just a whole bunch of things here. Not just Ace thing. Just like there's
yeah,
I've complained about this a few times. MLM relationships in a lot of more mainstream media is kind of lacking. So it's nice that
yeah.
it's such a major focus here. It's just it's such a good ending, and again, you can go back through the town and you can talk to everyone, and again the whole loop thing. Um,
Isabu also has one of the cutest confessions. Of just
yeah,
it's such like classic cheesy romance, and I love it. I
it
ate
is
that
so
shit up
cute.
so hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So this game kind of sucks. Yeah, I
yeah,
really did not
solid
like
seven
this
out of
game.
10.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go a bit lower. I 7 is a weird. I'm like I don't know, like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Say that again.
6, 7 out of 10. Six, 7, 6, 7. So I'm gonna kill myself. So yeah, a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think this was a really good attempt. I think if the developers tried again, they could maybe make something that isn't mid. But you know,
6, 7,
six.
6,
Yeah,
7.
my favorite part of Uncertain Time was when Bonnie said 6, 7.
Yeah. Okay. So Sifrin would 100% take 6, 7 joke. Eastby would think it's funny no matter what. Bonnie would not understand it. Odile would probably kill you. Mirabelle would be really confused and keep asking what the joke is, and they're like, "Oh, 6, 7, 6, 7." Like, what are you talking about? Um, and then King is like, "I am
Zifrin
literally
does six
Hitler."
seven to the point where Mirabelle just starts crying.
Cat reaction, cat interaction. 6, 7. I hate my life. Um, so that was the start of time. You have anything else you want to say about this game?
Um, y- uh, you you
Yeah,
mentioned on your like thing of you wanted to mention our favorite moments overall. We've probably talked about both of ours, but do you want to just say yours?
I mean, I want to
Mirabelle
just take a
Quest.
wild guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You might have skipped this, but I should have said this was my favorite part in my video on my favorite moments in every all the series I like the Christmas video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I don't remember skipping through that, but I might have
it was
either
2 months
I
ago.
either skipped through it or
It
I
was two.
forgot it.
Yeah, it was 2 months ago. It's fine. I, I when I say skip through, I mean like you skip like the moment because of the spoilers. I didn't assume you skipped the
Oh,
entire video. Don't worry.
oh, you know what? You're right. I did skip through that. I do remember that.
Yeah,
Cause sorry, I was thinking about your top 100 favorite character. Yeah, that's different. Um,
yeah. Top 100 figures. I didn't even play in Service Time when that came out.
yes, that is right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And no, I was talking about the video at least around Christmas time. For my favorite moment from every series I like.
yeah,
I
that I
figured
did
that you're
skip
probably
through.
just like, yeah, the the video itself or just the scene, just the moment.
No, I watched the video.
Okay, you just skip the Service
The
Time
only
thing because
time I've
spoilers.
skipped
That's fine.
through, yeah, the only times I've not finished a video in full is either because of something in Stars and Time related, and then there was one time when I skipped to the ending of a video to see what your number one spot was, but then I went back and watched the whole thing. But then I did tell you that, and that was like a conversation. But then you, yeah, but that was oh my gosh, oh, that was at my old job. Um,
I don't remember when this was. I remember the video. That was the Cartoon Intros video.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I
and now you can go back and watch my full Stars and Time video because I'm proud of that one.
Yeah, and I will. And I'll watch other video essays too, so I can get new opinions informed by YouTubers because that's how I roll. Because when I
You
really like
watch
a
one
piece of
video
media, I
that
need
says
to
the game
watch.
sucks. You see,
Yeah,
you watch one video about how saying the game sucks, and then that completely changes everything you think about the game.
it's like, yeah, why wasn't King more kissable? Let's talk about that.
It's weird because like a weirdly common ship in the fandom is King and Sifrin.
I don't understand that. I sort of do. I don't
It
really.
is mostly like an AU kind of thing of the two that grew up together, and then
Gotcha.
you kind of see the start of darkness for King. It's less our actual King and more just like this AU-ified version of him. Um,
Yeah, I do think that that is kind of interesting. Of the idea that they used to know each other, because that's totally possible, right?
yeah, it's
Um,
definitely possible. It was a full like country, so like I'm
yeah,
gonna assume they wouldn't have to like live next to each other,
right.
but but technically no, it's not impossible that they would know each other.
Yeah.
Especially because like they've forgotten so much about the time beforehand.
Yeah. Which is again such a really interesting story concept because it does again it parallels the idea of genocide,
Yeah,
where it's not only the land like being desecrated, it's not only the people being gone, it's like the
everything
history
about it.
too.
Yeah, the history, the influence, everything they've made and done is just gone.
It yeah, it's such a dark thing. In this, it's just kind of casually in the story here. Um, I think they do write it really well. Um, yeah, I do think my favorite moment personally was that ending of seeing Sifrin, not only of the other people forgiving Sifrin, but Sifrin kind of
Admitting that,
almost forgiving themselves and like really starting that healing process. It was
yeah,
so satisfying. It was very emotional.
uh, yay or nay on Hat is different.
I'm such a sucker for that trope where a character takes off like a piece of like of their outfit. Rouse does it. There's a few other times. They do it in The World Ends with You, where it's like they take off like the piece of clothing, and it's like ah, emotional change. So I think it was a really like cool moment to be like they're being more open by exposing their head, and also it's like that was fluffy.
Yeah, again, the different plush I have, you can actually take off the hat, and you can see it. It's cute. It's cute,
Yeah,
friend.
and plus, if they didn't take off their hat, then we wouldn't have got that moment with Odile. So
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
you can't pet. As you all know, you cannot pet someone if they have a hat on.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's against the law.
Yeah,
There's codes.
yeah. It's like how in my Odyssey, you can't possess anyone if they have a hat on.
Yeah, and head patting and possession are pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah, I
And
see
I've
no
always said
difference.
that.
Yeah, you're literally wearing a T-shirt that says I having and possession is the same thing. Mirabelle.
Mirabelle. Is there any other Easter eggs that I missed or that you haven't gotten over yet?
Those are the big ones. Easter egg probably wasn't like the right like term. It was just like what I could think of to say it. But yeah, no, I talk about all the big ones. There's a few other like smaller scenes, but those are the really notable ones, like the one with the change god, the one where you kiss Seville, the one where everyone sees the fake Siffrin, the loop boss fight. Did you watch the loop boss fight by the way?
I did not.
Or
I said I would, but then I didn't get around to it.
yeah, that's what I was asking. Um, I discuss it more in the video. I jump in there. Yeah, and then the bomb scene. So yeah, I think that's most of it. What I want to say. In Stars in Time, again, it came out in 2023. I heard nothing about it, but as time goes on, I'm seeing a lot more discussion for the series for the game. Uh, again, the hype was so strong. Again, they brought back the Siffrin plush after like 2 years, and then finally did Odile and Bonnie. So there's definitely a rise interest in this game, which is always great to see. I have gotten a few other friends to play it as well. So one day we'll find our Bonnie fan. Um, but yeah, Stars in Time, fantastic video game. One of the most important games to me. Probably my second favorite game of all time. Mirabelle is shot to one of my favorite characters of all time. For reasons besides for their sexuality, I promise. Um, it's just great.
Yeah. I don't know where places like on my favorite games. Definitely top 20.
Didn't you say it's like your new favorite like uh, time travel story or
I
something
do
along
think
those
I
lines?
prefer the time travel story over Majora's Mask. There is still like a deep like obviously Majora's Mask is like kind of got like that deep emotional tie, right? Where it has such a specific vibe that I love. That just isn't Stars in Time doesn't even try and replicate because it's two different
Yeah,
games. But I think as a time travel story, like when we're thinking about the specific time travel elements, I do think Stars in Time kind of beats out Majora's Mask. But again, there's probably a whole, you know, um, yeah, I don't know. It's comparing apples and oranges,
yeah,
but if the apples and oranges could travel through time,
and really depressing.
yeah,
Yeah, so
not as
we're
depressing
two
as
hours into
Majora's
this.
Mask. Yeah, we
Yeah,
are 2 hours,
um,
which is why we can't
which
talk about Majora's Mask because we'll be here for another three.
yeah. So yeah, I love the game. So glad that you experienced it. Um,
I'm really happy I played this
Mirabelle
too.
makes me smile. Um, Yeah,
Like,
I don't think there's
not
much
to
to
get
say.
too deep into it, but there was a moment where I even messaged you about this, where it's like I was sort of spiraling, and and then I finished the game, then I got back into it after having missed it for a few weeks, and then I got back into it and I started playing it, and I finished it, and I think it almost helped me out of that spiral, where like it was kind of
I
like a
would say
wake
the
up call.
same thing. Uh, I would say the same thing.
And
Granted,
that's fair enough, yeah.
Act 5 kind of hurt the spiral for a decent time because it was so freaking depressing. But once I beat the game, it really did help. Um,
Yeah. Um, do you know if the developers are doing anything new? What's going on
Not
with
that I
them?
know of.
Okay, hope
In
so. They should do more games.
Insert Disc, uh, Insert Disc 5 is just like one person or a small team. Um,
Oh,
so I don't see anything. Doesn't look like it. Armor Game Studios is the publisher,
yeah.
um, and they're
Well,
doing stuff still.
considering the lives we lead, I'm sure the moment they announce something, we'll know. So
Yeah. Uh,
that's very exciting. I I really do hope they do more because that's so good,
it's
so good.
it's so good. Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
when it comes to In Stars Time itself, uh, I don't need a sequel, but
No,
I wouldn't be against like a little short animation just seeing where everyone is now.
I also when I mentioned to Maury, I was like, man, Interesting Time should also have its own manga, just retelling the story. I don't think it would work quite as well as a manga, but I think it'd just be cool to have.
Fair.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Um.
I do have one
Gay
last
people.
question, and then
Yeah.
as soon as you answer this, we can end the video.
Yeah.
Considering that there's one of the main characters is named Bonnie, are you proud of me for not referencing FNAF a single time?
So I just got my so the friend that got me uh to play this game. I also just got them to watch Shira. Um, and they're also a big versus motherfucker. Uh, so they brought a match to me like literally the second before we started recording, of uh Frosta from Shira versus Bonnie, and I was very confused for a solid like minute of why are you throwing a little child against the robot rabbit? Oh wait, no, you meant in certain time Bonnie. So I had FNAF Bonnie on my mind this entire conversation. I was just waiting. I was just waiting with bated breath for you to make the joke. I am very glad you waited until the end.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. Bonnie is too well written of a character for me to even. That's like such a like not thing. Like there's so much too much else to focus on with them. Man, I just okay. We can end the video now.
Okay, have a good day, everyone. Bye. Bye. We'll stop us before we get more FNAF or Delta discussion. Peace. Bye.
Goodbye.